To help us line up these screws so that they sit flush, we can first drill a pilot hole. And now our screws will sit flush. To properly wrap Teflon tape, we'll first lay it almost vertically from bottom to top, then wrap downwards in a spiral motion. To make sure these cabinet hinges are installed properly, we'll first need to make a template. Using a piece of scrap wood, mark out the hinge and the holes. Push in 2 nails along the hinge line. Then mark out where the screws will go and drill the holes. Now we'll install the hinges. Everything lines up. We can make our own DIY garden auger for digging holes. We'll make 2 incisions on both sides of this diamond cutting wheel and attach it to the drill. Next, we'll make a brick texture roller. Start by cutting out foam rings and strips. Place them onto the roller brush and glue the strips on like so. Now we'll add some spackle to the wall and cover it with plastic wrap. Use the brush to roll out the brick texture. Sanding between gaps can be very tedious. We can add some duct tape to give the sandpaper some extra support. It's dangerous to use a planer or table saw without a push stick. We can make one using this paintbrush. Remove the bristles and cut out a notch in the handle. Now our fingers are safe. Let's add tape to the edge of our paint bucket. Keep our brush from dripping. This next project is making a rubber strap wrench. We want to drill a hole through this nut and then cut out notches on both sides. We'll insert the rubber strap like so, and then secure it with a bolt, tightening a nut on the other side. Now we can tighten the strap using the ratchet to loosen this oil filter. To fit these 2 pipes together, we can use a swaging drill bit. Using an angle grinder creates a lot of dust. A bit of double-sided tape will capture some of the dust and protect the shield. When finished, simply throw the tape away. Some screws just don't seem to want to hold on to the drill bit like we want them to. Luckily, we can use some double-sided tape once again to help us out. Add the tape to the drill bit and press the screw onto the tape. This knife is clearly dull. We can create a knife sharpening stand by drilling 2 holes into our stand and inserting the 2 stones. For our last project, we'll be creating an articulating arm that allows us to make straight marks across oddly shaped objects. We'll start by first drilling holes into each of the pieces of wood like so. Then we'll sand off the corners and edges of each piece. Next, we'll add bolts, washers, and nuts to each articulating joint and tighten. And the next piece will be screwed in perpendicularly. We'll screw in a smaller piece to the other end as well. Now we can mark straight lines, both on flat boards and even on the inside of this container. Try Driving screws into wood can be a bit difficult if the screw is long enough. We can add a bit of WD-40 to make the job easier. To fasten these two pieces of wood together, we'll drill 2 pilot holes at a 45-degree angle. Then we'll install wood screws to secure the post. If our outlet's hanging too loose, we can add pieces of scrap wood into the outlet box to better secure the outlet. Now when we reinstall the outlet plate, it doesn't budge. We can use some steel wire to wrap around this tubing to secure it to this fitting. Wrap the wire with the screwdriver until the excess falls off. For our next DIY project, we'll be making a claw rake. We'll start by cutting some rebar. We'll cut 6 pieces, with the last one being longer than the rest. Sharpen the tips on the 5 and then weld them together at the base. Now we'll place this in the vise and bend each tine to a 90-degree angle. Then we'll weld our last piece onto the end. We'll use our lathe to give our rake a nice wooden handle. If regular nails won't hold this board down, try using rivet nails. If the vinyl starts to come off of this MDF, just use a bit of hot glue and then press it down with a block of wood. Our Wi-Fi signal isn't as strong as we'd like it to be. We can cut open this can of soda and flatten it out. Then place it behind the antenna for better reach. If we need to inflate this air mattress, we can use an industrial vacuum cleaner to help us out. We'll install the hose on the opposite side so that it blows air. And in case the hose doesn't fit to the mattress, we can use this old adhesive tube to make an attachment. Tape the tube to the vacuum hose and then connect it to the mattress. Now we just let the vacuum pump in the air. Our jigsaw has a fan that creates a bit of air. Using this plastic fitting, we can direct the air down to the front of the blade to keep the dust from getting stuck inside of the blade. Our next project is a stand for fishing poles. We'll need a PVC pipe and some foam tubing. We'll mount the PVC pipe onto the bottom of the stand. Then we'll attach the foam tubing just above it. Now we can place our fishing poles just like so. If we need to attach these 2 pipes at a right angle, we can use a pair of scissors to act as a compass to give us a rough guide where to cut. It should look something like this before, and it should look like this after the pipe's been cut. A little trick to keeping pizza a bit warmer on the drive home is just to turn on the seat warmers. You can use a binder clip in cases where you've lost the plastic cover to prevent the razor from accidentally making any cuts. To prevent this board from splitting, you'll want to drill a pilot hole beforehand. You can do this by drilling a bit in reverse. We can use this piece of plastic to ensure clean cuts with our jigsaw. We'll attach the plastic shield to the bottom of our jigsaw using some double-sided tape. Now when we make our cuts, the wood doesn't chip. Try flipping the wrench after every turn for maximum leverage. If we want to cool down a can of soda a bit faster, we can wrap a few napkins around the can, and then wet the napkins, and then place it in the freezer. After about 30 minutes, our soda will be nice and cold.